Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing my spring faves and fails, and it is quite a bit later than usual for me this time because December is a very busy month for me. So I do apologise for that. However, I have some few faves and a few fails, unfortunately, but that just happens. So how it works is I do these seasonal, so I use the products for 3 months of the season and give my results at the end of the season, which this time it's a bit late. First up is this is such a mouthful, Mecca Max Gloss Boss Lip Gloss in the shade Cool It. I love this stuff. I have not stopped wearing this. This lives in my handbag at the moment. If I'm ever in need of just a quick something to throw on, I'm using this at the moment, which is happening a lot because December has been crazy busy. So yeah, I just love it. Right from my first impression when I filmed the video, I loved it. It's not sticky, it doesn't dry down at the end of the day. You know how something can dry down and give you that kind of a line. Doesn't do that. Works perfect over any lipstick I've tried, any lip liner I've tried. It has nice texture too. It isn't too thick. Some lip glosses can be quite thick and gluggy. This one's not. I've just, yeah, I will continue to rave about this. It is really good. I'm actually going to eventually sometime next year get some more shades because, yeah, I would love to see what they're like too. They'll be just as good, I'm sure. And the other thing that was in that same video was the Mecca Max Zoom Shadow Stick in Metal. This is this one here. And I'll put some on the back of my hand. It is just yeah, same thing. This has been really great for a one and done for me. I can just put it on and I know it's gonna work. I can rely on it. Did take me a few attempts to figure out. I'm not that familiar with cream eyeshadows. So it took me a while to figure out how best to use it, but once I did that, it was, yeah, non-stop using it. So when I first tried it with nothing else on the lid, and I think that was the first impressions video I did, it only lasted sort of 4 hours and then felt that sticky, yucky kind of feeling and had to wash it off. Then I tried it with concealer and setting powder over top. Lasted much longer but still had a slight kind of heavy feeling on the lid. And then I also tried it with the eyeshadow primer and it lasted ages. Both of those with the concealer and setting powder and the eyeshadow primer, there were no creasing at all. But yeah, and the same with the eyeshadow primer, it still felt a bit heavy. So I continued to stick with the eyeshadow primer and I tried it with less product. I thought maybe I'm just being a little heavy-handed, putting too much on. So I put less on, blended it out more, and it was perfect. So I don't know whether it's just a thing with cream eyeshadows that they have that slight heaviness. I mean, it is a cream, it's got to stay on your lid, it can't be absorbed, so it's got to have some type of texture. So I'm assuming that's just normal. Please let me know in the comments if it's not. I'd love to know. But yeah, I am just still loving it. Definitely not by itself. With an eyeshadow primer or a concealer and setting powder, spot on. Then we have the Cargo Swimmables Longwear Shadow Stick in the shade Botany Bay, and I'll put some on my hand. It's a nice sort of deep browny colour, and that's the one there, this side. This first impressions video I did of it, I thought, yep, I like the colour, it's not bad. However, that was on a bare lid, nothing else underneath. I lasted about 2 hours, then it was like, oh my gosh, I gotta take this off. It was very dry, very uncomfortable. I was like, okay, that's fine. It obviously was going to work better a different way. So I took it off. Then I tried it with concealer and setting powder, and then on another attempt with eyeshadow primer. It was okay. It lasted longer, definitely, before it felt dry. Because I don't know why, but yeah, it was always, no matter what I did, after a few hours it just started to feel uncomfortable. And I really wanted to like this, because like if you read the reviews are great on this. I was like, so I persisted. I tried it with other eyeshadows, it works fine. I did get it to work as like an outer third colour, but the thing I did not like the most about it was when I'm trialing mascaras, quite often some of them have a big brush. Big brushes don't work for me. I have major problems that I always end up with mascara everywhere. So of course I was trying out a mascara at the same time I was doing this, and I was getting a lot of mascara on my lids, and the thing that bothered me the most about this was trying to get the mascara off. And no matter how long I waited, it just felt like I had to really scrub to try and get the mascara off, which is in the end what put me off it the most, because who wants to spend 5 minutes trying to scrub mascara off? So that's why this unfortunately is a fail. I haven't been reaching for it for that reason. If I have a mascara eventually that I know that I'm not going to get on my lids, then I may try. I do like the colour, or I may not. I don't know. I am one of those people who will like to give something a good shot. That's why I do these seasonal, so I give it a good 3 months. But I just found in these 3 months that I just could not get it to work. So I may go back to it if I ever find a mascara that doesn't get all on my eyelids. At the moment it's not looking good. I think, do I even have one? Oh my gosh. No, I think the two I'm trialing at the moment, one's a big brush and the other one I'm not liking either. It's not a big brush, but it's a weird brush. So yeah. So yeah, unfortunately the Cargo Swimmables was a fail. But I will say I didn't try it swimming. It's probably called Swimmables for a reason. I imagine if you wore it underwater and swimming, it would probably work perfectly, because it does stay on a long time before, I mean eventually in my case it didn't get that dry kind of feeling, but if you're putting moisture on it, it might be okay. I don't know. Let me know if you've tried it and how it worked, if you went swimming with it on. I mean, we are in summer, why not? So yeah, let me know if you do. But sadly this one is a fail for me. For a foundation I have the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation, and mine is in the shade Rose Beige. And let me tell you, I fell in love with this the moment I used it. The first impressions video I did, of course, I used a shade too dark. But still, ever since I've been mixing it with my Mecca lightning drops, and I tell you what, I always get comments on it. Even my husband knows I switch up between 2 or 3 foundations at once. He always notices when I use this one. It's always like, wow, you look really nice today. And I love that feeling. And I was like, wow, what foundation, going through the list, what did I use today? And it was always this one. But not only him, I'd get comments in the shop, doing my food shopping and things. Wow, your foundation, or wow, your makeup looks really nice. It's like, oh, thank you. So of course I would recommend this. This is what I'm using, and I just have not stopped using it. I still would like to get the shade. I think the only shade available that I haven't tried actually, is light beige. Still want to get that. That would save me having to mix the two all the time. Sorry, to mix it with the lightning drops all the time. That would save me a bit of time. But then on the other hand, I don't want it to be too light. Then I went back on the Warehouse website just recently and found they have added a fifth shade, which was porcelain, I believe porcelain. Was it just porcelain? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just called porcelain. So yeah. So the light beige might be okay. I'm still gonna try it after all this busy season is over. But yeah, that is my all-time favourite at the moment. For an eyeshadow palette, I tried for this season the Bys Foiled Palette. And I have to say, when I looked at the colours and opened it up, I was like, wow, you know, the colours are really cool. And in my first impressions video, I said the same thing. You know, the colour scheme is amazing. But, as I said in that first video, when you wear it and you're looking from far away, it looks amazing. But when you're up close and you're looking in your mirror, all I can see is my wrinkles, my folds, everything on my eyelids. It's like, damn, it looks so nice from far away. So I have found, unfortunately, I haven't been reaching for it for that reason. But as I said, I am one of those people who would try it and give it a good go before I hit pan on them. This one, I guess because I was starting to use it in the middle of my busy season, I was just finding I wasn't reaching for it. And then I kept thinking about it, I kept thinking of ways I could try and make it work. I did think of doing like a halo eye where you put one of these colours on your outer and inner and put like a matte shade in the middle. And I thought, oh, that might have been a way to try it. I never got around to that. I guess it's just because it didn't wow me, it didn't make me go, oh yes, I want to use it again. So I very badly didn't give it a good shot. However, I am going to try it, as I said, as this halo look. And then another thought I had was I could maybe try one of these darker colours, like this one on the end. What's this one called? Timeless? Maybe as a liner. I was just trying to think of ways I could make it work. So I haven't hit pan on it yet. I'm not calling it, well, I guess I am calling it a fail because it's not something I'm reaching for. But I'm still gonna, let's call it a maybe. Yeah, let's call it a maybe. I'm just gonna see how I go. As I said, I'm gonna try it this 2 other ways, and that doesn't work and you don't hear about it any more than you know. It's been not happening. Yeah, other than that, it's, yeah, metallic and foil palette. I never heard of them, but yeah. Anyway, that is my plan to what I'm going to do with this. The last thing I wanted to add in was something that I hadn't actually filmed. This came about, I actually bought it way back when I did my very first video on the Wheaton Wild, what was that called? The lipstick and the lip liner. And I bought this at the same time. Forgot about it, got put away somewhere, forgot about it. I thought, oh, okay. And then I was rotating some foundations and I found this one. I was like, oh, I just need to try that. And then I thought, well, I've got enough foundations filming wise at the moment to go through, so I thought I'll just use this one off camera and let you know my thoughts. So this is the Wheaton Wild Photo Focus foundation, and mine is in the shade, where is it? Soft Beige. There it is. Now this, I'll show you this first. It has like this unusual thing I'd never seen before, which is a paddle brush. It's not even a brush, sorry, it's just a plastic paddle, and I thought that's really strange. I got the right shade, so all I had to do was put some on my hand, warm it up, put it on my sponge and put it on my face. But I found sometimes the paddle, you get too much, sometimes you get too little. It just became like, come on. It's a bit like the Catrice one foundation. It has a dropper, which I thought my first few attempts at using the dropper was like, oh my gosh, this is going to drive me mad. But I got used to it. You end up realising how hard you need to squeeze to get how much you want. But this, sometimes you get tons, sometimes you get barely any. Found us backwards and forwards. Anyway, so after that, I started wearing it. The shade is a perfect match. Still had to put it down my neck though. Then I would get through the day, and I have combination to oily skin. So on the outsides it's normal. Through my T-zone I'm always getting shiny. So it was getting to like, say I'd been wearing it maybe 6-7 hours. Usually it lasts that long before I have to touch up. I went to touch up, I just grabbed my powder. I can't even remember what the first powder was. I don't think I used a brush. No, I just used a pad that it came with. And I just went like I usually do with other foundations. And then I was like, looked in the mirror, I was like, oh my gosh. And it went all cakey. And I thought, this is really strange. I've never had that before. So I thought, process of elimination. Let's find out what's wrong. So the next time I wore it, I thought, okay, this time I'm going to try a different powder. Maybe it's just a foundation, whatever powder you put on in the morning, you should touch up with. You know, something like that. I thought, okay, I'll try that. So it was my Laura Mercier, I think that's what it's called, translucent powder on the particular day. Fabulous powder, my all-time favourite at the moment. And I thought, okay, right, same thing, come to about when I needed to touch up. So I thought, okay, right, here we go. Put some on the sponge, as I usually do. Put it on the face, same thing. It looked terrible. Cakey and all blotchy around here, and oh my gosh, okay. It's obviously not the powder. Okay, I was thinking, okay, it's the foundation, but still, we'll try something else. I thought, okay, maybe we'll try blotting. Okay, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I can be a bit lazy about that. Anyway, I thought, right, okay, I'll try that. So next time I wore it, I blotted around, it's usually my T-zone, around everywhere, you know, before I applied the powder. I think I went back to the powder that lives in my handbag that particular day. So I'll just use that. Patted it on. It wasn't as bad, but it was still a little cakey. And I thought, at that stage I was going, right, maybe it's just a foundation. So I kind of put it away, which is why it's only in this particular video. Because I put it away for a bit, forgot about it, was like, maybe it's just not meant to be. Maybe it's just a foundation that's just not going to work for me. Then one day I saw it sitting there and I was like, what was wrong with that one again? I couldn't remember. Usually I write these things down. I remembered as soon as I started using it again. I was like, oh yeah, actually that's why. But anyway, this particular day that I didn't remember what had happened, I was like, oh, okay. I hadn't been wearing this with a primer, but this particular day, I was kind of going for a more glam look, and I thought, okay, I'll put on my primer as usual. I'm using the Hourglass Veil primer. I love that stuff. I'll put that on as usual. Did everything else. Got to the touch-up time. Was like, no, I still hadn't remembered at that stage. I was like, oh, okay, yep. Touch up, didn't blot, just put it on, and then I remembered afterwards, I was like, oh, this is the foundation I had trouble with. I better check this in the mirror. You know what? still wasn't perfect, but it was way better. Like, there was a little bit of texture around the nose, and I thought, oh, maybe I just missed that with the primer, you know. So the next time I used it, I was very particular with the primer, making sure I got everything in the right place, you know. Everywhere was covered. Touch-up time came, and I thought, oh, do I blot it first and then touch up? I was like, no, just gonna try it. So I touched up just with my one in my handbag, as I usually do, done, looked in the mirror, and I was like, oh, finally. So it turns out, this is just one of those foundations for my particular skin type that I have to wear a primer underneath. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Okay? So, for that reason, I still haven't been reaching for it. I mean, I'm not one of those people who will use primer every single time I wear makeup. It's usually, and if I have time, if I'm in a hurry, I won't use it. So, and then I sort of thought, wow, is this going to be something I'm going to reach for? Or is this just going to be something that I'm going to go, I don't know. So I sat down and I really thought about it, and I was like, would I class it as something I would go out and buy again? And the answer is no. Just for the reason it didn't wow me. It just seemed like a lot of work to figure it out. And yeah, so at the end of the day, it's not going to be something I will replace. I will keep using it. I think this lasts about a year. Off and on those days where I can, I have time to put a primer on. But at the same time, the foundation didn't wow me. You know, I wore it. Every time I wore it, it wasn't like I went, wow, like my Catrice one, you know. Oh, I love this foundation. It was just more like, yeah, it's alright. It does the job. So that one is a fail for me as well, unfortunately. Everything I have talked about I will link in the description box if you would like to purchase it or take a look at it. And let me know in the comments if you've tried any of this stuff and had different results or have any ideas. What I could do with certain things to make them work better. Just, I'd love to know your thoughts. That is the spring faves and fails done for this year. The next video that will be going up will be in the new year. Yay! I don't know if I'm really excited about the new year or not. Fingers crossed. We'll see what this next year brings. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!